Hi, I'm Sonia, and welcome back to my channel, Sonia on Being 60. In today's video, I want to talk about the best kept diet secret. What is the best kept diet secret? Is there one? Well, certainly we're led to believe there's probably many diet secrets because the diet industry is, after all, over a $70 billion industry. My goodness. A lot of people out there wanting to get that magic pill, the next best, diet in the world, what have you, and they're willing to spend a lot of money on it. So, what is the secret? In my humble opinion, it's very easy. The secret to losing weight is simply to eat less. Just eat less than what you were eating yesterday or the day before. And if you do that, you'll lose weight. But I know it's not as easy as that. And I'm not trying to, make or say that losing weight is an easy thing to do by any stretch of the imagination, because it's not. It really isn't. But truly, if we do want to lose weight, we do have to eat less. So while I firmly believe there really is no magic bullet out there, there's no big secret to losing weight, I do feel, though, that there are a number of things that we can do that will help us to lose weight, to eat less. And I have my top 10. Now, these are not in any particular order. These are just what I feel, if you follow these 10 items, you will be a success. Not only will you lose the weight, but you will keep it off. Because that's the other thing. There's so many diets out there, so many diets that are promising you to, for you to lose 10 pounds, 20 pounds, 50 pounds, 100 pounds. Do it in like a month, in 2 weeks, whatever. Eat all the food that you've always eaten and you're going to lose weight. Or eat cabbage. Eat the cabbage soup. There's a cabbage soup diet. Eat cabbage soup for 2 weeks and you're going to lose weight. Eat eggs for 2 weeks and you're going to lose weight. Eat potatoes for 2 weeks and you're going to lose weight. Sure, all of these things you will lose weight because you're eating actually less calories than what you're normally eating. But is that a sustainable way of life? After 2 weeks, you're going to probably never want to see another cabbage, another egg, another potato in your life. And you'll go back to kind of the way things were. And before you know it, you're going to gain that weight back. So, without further ado, here are my top 10 strategies for successfully losing weight. The first thing I mentioned was eat less than what you currently eat. But it's not only eating less, it's also what you eat is important. You have to eat foods that you enjoy and that you can be, that can become a sustainable way of eating for you. Track what you eat. This keeps you honest. How do you know how many calories you're eating if you don't track? Last week or 2 weeks ago, I talked about the scale. And is the scale your friend or a foe? I really do firmly believe that when you are wanting to lose weight, the scale is your friend. The scale will keep you accountable. The scale keeps you honest. It shows you progress. Another thing that you can do is to eat fulfilling foods. And again, I talked about that last week. Eat foods that are high on the satiety index. Foods such as proteins and fats, they are going to keep you fuller for a longer period of time. You also want to avoid easy to overeat foods. Like the chips, the cookies, the candies, the crackers. And don't have any of those in your house. That's really important. Get rid of all the junk because then it's no longer a temptation for you. The other thing you want to do is make sure that your goals are realistic. Don't say, I want to lose 20 pounds in 2 weeks. You're going to set yourself up for failure, quite frankly. And even if you did lose that amount of weight, it's going to be pretty much all water weight. It's not true weight loss. You want to be losing, between 1 and 2 pounds a week. You want the weight to come off slowly. You didn't gain weight overnight. You didn't all of a sudden wake up one day and poof, there's 50 pounds added to your frame. No, that likely took a year or two for that to come on. And it's going to take a while for it to come off. So you have to be a bit patient, but if it's coming off slowly, if you're eating foods that you're enjoying, you're staying full, the journey is going to be a lot easier for you. You also want to, look out for those times when you're eating because you're feeling stressed, because maybe something bad went wrong, so you're emotionally eating. You're happy, so you grab something that's a cake or a cookie, or you're sad and you grab for the ice cream. Pay attention to that as well. And some of the tricks you can do if you feel that you're going to be eating because you're stressed or simply bored, well, get up and do something. Go outside, go for a walk around the block, brush your teeth, do some jumping jacks, do some squats. Just do something. And in the doing of something, even if it's for like 30 seconds or 60 seconds, it's amazing how all of a sudden your mindset shifts and you no longer feel like you're going to eat. A trick I use sometimes is if I feel I'm getting like the munchies, if you will, I'm just going to go up to bed. I'll go to bed. I don't care if it's 8 o'clock at night. I'm going to go to bed. I'll maybe turn the TV on or read a book. But I know once I'm in bed, I'm not getting out of bed and I'm not going to go down and look for anything to eat. I'm in bed and that's, where I am and going to be staying for the rest of the night. Another thing is exercise. Now, a lot of people will say, exercise. Exercise is a great way to help you lose weight. Yes, exercise can help, but you should use exercise as kind of an addition, as an adjunct to your weight loss plan. You shouldn't be exercising necessarily to lose weight. You should be losing weight and you should be exercising to be healthy and to stay healthy and, to relieve stress. And finally, the last one I want to talk about, and I love this phrase or this term, rare and appropriate. I first read about this, and I think it was in a book by Penn Jillette, he's a magician, part of Penn and Teller, very famous magicians. He's an author. He wrote about this in his book called Presto, and this is really a book about his weight loss journey. He lost over 100 pounds in about a year, I believe it was. And the term he coined, rare and appropriate, which means there are times in our lives where there's special occasions where we are going to want to eat a type of food that we don't normally eat as part of our everyday diet anymore. Like once we kind of embarked on that weight loss journey, maybe we have said we're not eating sugar anymore, but maybe there's an occasion where it's that favorite meal that has sugar, or that dessert that's very sugary, and it's maybe once a year that it's presented to you. Well, that's a rare and appropriate occasion. And why not indulge? You're doing it once a year. And it's not a cheat meal. I really don't like the term cheat meal, because to me that implies that you're doing something bad, that you're doing something sneaky and you shouldn't be doing it. You're cheating on yourself. Well, no, we should allow ourselves to have some indulgences in our life. And we call it, and that's why I just love the term rare and appropriate, because it is rare. It happens once in a while, and it's appropriate. It's a special occasion. We're maybe celebrating somebody's birthday, or it's a wedding celebration, or an anniversary, or whatever it is. It's rare and appropriate. So let me tell you a bit about my story, about what happened to me. 2 years ago, I was 20 pounds heavier than I am now. I was eating junk. I guess my whole adult life, I've always kind of interspersed like good eating with bad eating, and eating a lot of junk, a lot of candies, chips, cookies, that kind of thing. And growing up as I did, like I was conditioned, as many of us in my age group were conditioned to not eat fat. Fat is like, oh, bad. You don't want to eat fat. You want low fat. You want high carb. And the industry, the food industry, Well, they welcomed that with open arms. It's like they started making foods that were very low in fat, high in carbs, and when I say high in carbs, like high in sugar, because they have to make the food taste good. So if something's very low fat, it's probably not going to taste all that great, but until you start adding a ton of sugar in it, and then all of a sudden it's going to taste good. And so I would say, oh, I remember Snackwell cookies, low fat. Oh yeah, but they were like the worst thing for you, full of sugar or full of like all these ingredients that you couldn't even pronounce, but they were low fat. So in my view, they were good. I was good to go with that. I guess I finally got tired of all the sugar I was eating, and I was reading stuff how sugar is not good for you. That, and you know, that along with getting older, I really want to be healthy. I want to live to a good age, and I want to be healthy at a good age. So I thought, okay, if I want to lose these 20 pounds, I can't just do what I've done in the past, which is kind of reduce what I'm eating, but still keep eating the same things. You know, forego a good meal for a bag of jelly beans. Calories are the same at the end of the day, but maybe they're going to be a bit higher because I sometimes couldn't stop eating all the junk. I didn't want to get back into that pattern because it's just a pattern I had like over time, like all the time. So I thought, I'm going to turn my diet on its head, full 360 here. I'm going to start at it. I'm going to go the higher fat, the low carb. And man, let me tell you, I was very like worried about that because never in my life had I allowed myself full fat yogurt, full fat cottage cheese, bacon, you know, the higher fatty foods. I just didn't allow that because I just thought that was so bad for me. But let me tell you what happened. I eliminated all the sugar, pretty much all the carbs. I went on a very low carb way of eating. I went on the ketogenic diet, and I found that I was full all day. Like I would have eggs and bacon for breakfast, for example. And I didn't have that every day because it's not, everybody thinks keto is like bacon and eggs and steak, you know, 3 meals a day, 365 days a year. Well, it's really not. Anyways, for example, I'd have bacon and eggs for breakfast, and then I just simply wouldn't be hungry until supper time. I'd be full all day. And I found that not only was I starting to lose weight, my cravings were disappearing. My cravings for eating, like for snacking and for eating cookies and what have you, went away. At the beginning, you know, I know there were times where like, okay, well, I want a snack, so I'd have some nuts. And maybe I'd have a big handful of nuts. But again, as time went on, I found I didn't even want the nuts. Maybe I'd have 1 or 2, and I'd be like, oh, I'm full. That's enough. I've had enough. So this then became a way of eating. And I think with any diet that you follow, it has to become a way of eating. It has to become part of your life. And I lost the 20 pounds, and it's been 2 years now, and I feel fantastic. And I just want to say that this works for me, and I'm not prescribing this for anybody, because everyone has to find what works for you. And that could be eating a higher carb diet. It could be eating more protein, less fat, less carbs. It could be eating what I do is more protein, fat, and lesser carbs. And I probably don't even follow the ketogenic to a T. Like I'm probably maybe sometimes higher a bit in my protein than I am in the fat, but I'm always low carb, unless it's a rare and appropriate occasion. Just like Christmas time is rare and appropriate, and I'm going to indulge a bit from time to time. But it's worked for me, and I feel fantastic. I have tons of energy, and I see that in the sports that I do. I'm an ultra distance runner. I run marathons, and I have run ultra marathons in the past. I do Ironman triathlons, and even like this past year, I did an Ironman, I did marathon, I did tons of training, and I'm actually getting faster. Mind you, I do have a coach, and she's wonderful. Robin challenges me. She pushes me to run faster, run harder, but I'm able to do it. At my age, I'm able to get faster and to go faster than I have in many, many years, and feel great doing it. I'm proving to myself I don't have to have carbs in my diet in order to be a success in my running or triathlon goals. I feel fantastic. So I think, as I said, in order to lose the weight, you've got to do what works for you. You have to be realistic. Get rid of the garbage in your house. Eat good food, wholesome food. Try not to eat the processed foods because there's just so much stuff in there that just isn't good for us. And you'll see, you'll be successful. You will be a success. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and I do hope that there's some little tricks in there that I've talked about that might help you in your journey. And your journey may be to lose weight and maybe to maintain weight. But whatever your journey is when it comes to weight, there are things that we can do. And there really is no big secret about how we get there. There's just some good tips that we can follow. I'd like to wish you all a very Merry Christmas for those of you that celebrate Christmas. And if you're not celebrating Christmas, have a wonderful, healthy holiday season. And look forward to talking to you again in the new year.